What up, guys? I'm back. Finally, something new. The hunter is doing something other than a hunt, other than a haul. Can you believe it? Can you believe it? Finally, I've been saying it. Oh, I'm going to try this. I'm going to do that. Finally. Now, I already know I'm going to go off crazy tangents and rants, so I decided to do this in 3 parts. I'm going to break it up into my early years. We'll call it the VHS years. Then we'll go on to my DVDs. That's the, middle. That's second part. Third part, boutique, Blu-ray, 4K, all where I'm at today. Where I'm at with you right now. So 3 parts. Try to do it as quick as I can without going too crazy. So, like I said, the early years, the VHS years. As a young lad, no, basically when I was a kid, my mom, she wasn't rich, but she gave us everything that we wanted, and we wanted cable. Boom, hooked it up. Then HBO came out, Cinemax for the older generation. Showtime's the premium cable. Boom, came to my house. Oh boy, did I have fun. I started basically looking through the TV guide and paper one that used to come and watch every movie I could find. It was R-rated, NC-17, PG-13, anything that was above the G-rated PG as a kid that I was accustomed to. You know, the Disney movie clamshells that every household had and still has. So I wanted to branch out. We didn't own a VCR yet. We didn't own, a bunch of tapes yet. It was just cable and everything from there. So we started watching, my brother and I, nonstop. Cousins too, anybody that came over, friends in the neighborhood, my house was the place to be. We would watch whatever. Started staying up late at night, watching other things as a young child, figuring out, oh wow, okay, that's what those things are used for. So anyways, as we keep watching cable, keep watching movies, finally I'm like, hey, we got to own these. We got to buy these. And, I think my mom's like, same thing. She liked movies. So she got a VCR, brought home, I can't even remember what the tapes were. Just some basics, real basic, VHS at the time, because they're super expensive. What was very popular though was blank tapes. So I know we started buying those by the 6-pack, the 8-pack, whatever pack you could think of. So I started recording home video. I started recording, putting up, Platoon and Critters and Space Camp or something on one, and Jaws and Police Academy and Goonies. I would mix it up crazy, like any movies that would come on. And then my mom started doing it, and she would record movies like The Kindred. What else? Something like odd like that. That just I wouldn't have wanted to watch or think about at the time. She recorded so many movies that I said no way possible I'm ever gonna love, and now I'm like, some of these are my favorites. But anyways, home recording VHS, boom, that's where it started. Started recording everything, started watching everything. It wasn't enough. Let's go rent. Blockbuster. Boom. I became a Blockbuster nut. We went there every week. We rented movies. My brother and I would walk the aisles. We would love to just hang out at Blockbuster. My mom, who had to drive us at the time, being a kid, was a slow viewer of the outside wall. So she would take forever just to get around. If you guys all remember, or if you don't know, Blockbuster used to carry new releases on the outside wall all around the store. The inside aisles were for the older releases. So we could be at a Blockbuster for 45 minutes, an hour, just because my mom would take forever to look at the movies. So we started looking at, we were bored, so we branched off from the Blockbuster hits. We started looking at the other action and comedy and horror and everything else. So of course, going there every week, you start getting tired of movies that just came out, you've already seen. they already been rented because everybody was renting movies back then. So if they didn't have the tape, you better find something else. That's where I started finding, other obscurities. I would get like maybe a Recruits, or a Double O Kid, with the hamster, the little Corey Haim. Maybe something like A Perfect Weapon. Some action, some like, what's up? So these things started coming home like crazy, just crazy. Now, from there is where I found like my Munchies and what else? Like Dead Alive, things like that. Like, no way I was ever going to watch these movies at home or on cable, but the video store had it. I rented it. Now, I wasn't enough. I had all these movies at my fingertips, right? Renting them, cable, all that. I needed to own it. I needed to have it forever. So we started buying them and buying them more. Blockbuster built my collection for VHS for the first time I had VHS, because 2 parts to it. But basically, Blockbuster in my teenage years, I'd say 60%, maybe 70% came from there. Previewed movies, previewed sold copies. Because when they were done with their tapes, they sold them just like they did with the DVDs and everything else. So from there, buying Swap Meet movies and Suncoast Video and The Warehouse, stuff like that. Tapes, though, were still, I want to say, $29.95, $35, $19.99. They were upwards of what we would pay for a premium Blu-ray right now. They were becoming a lot more popular. They weren't as when they first came out, like the $80 range to $100 that a lot of stores paid for. So I was just owning it. I was just getting more movies, Police Academies and Ferris Bueller's Day Offs and horror like Day of the Dead. So Blockbuster is where this was born, the horror fan in me. Watched tons and tons of it there. And Hollywood Video too, when they came about, mom and pop shops, I went there as well. I was actually a gold member for you Blockbuster people. I was a gold member, my family. When they rolled out their membership programs, we got mailed the gold card. And I went with there the first time. Even the store people didn't even know what it was. They were like, we've seen this membership program. We've seen the blue, but what? Gold? We were in the top, I think they said 1% of all of Blockbuster sales. I have the gold card somewhere. I couldn't find it. It's somewhere stashed away in all my stuff, and I know I'll bring it out. It's been posted on my IG before, so I guess I can go back and look for it there, on the story feeds. But point of the story is, I rented a lot of movies. I bought a lot of movies. I helped build Blockbuster, I want to say, for the early part. Just like I hear stories of you guys out there talking about, worked there, took movies from there, rented a lot. I still tout myself one of the kings of Blockbuster for the West Coast region. Hands down. I mean, they got to have data, right? Blockbuster, if you're watching, send me some data on this, some hard facts so I can show people. Anyways, with all the VHSs, all the watching these movies, going to the Blockbusters and all that, swap meets. Oh, I can't forget this too. When I was a kid, I went to the swap meet like I do now. I still be going, right? I'm a hunter. I bought my first VHS tape ever from a swap meet, and it was broken. Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, got home. It was dead. The sun burnt the film out or whatever, killed it. And I was devastated. My brother, we had to wait like 3 or 4 weeks before mom's brought us back to the swap meet, to trade it in, to get it swapped out. I don't even know if we ever did, but stuff like that. So with all of my VHS that I accumulated at Blockbuster and everything else, buying them at the warehouse and everything else like that. So I was ready to finally expand. That was like, I want to say 500 to 700 VHS. For a kid, that was a lot. I was a young kid, teenage, probably going into 13, 12, and 12, 13. And that was a lot of VHS. The DVD was born already. It was coming out. It was becoming the way to go. So I gave all of my VHS, the whole collection basically, to my grandmother. I wanted her to watch movies. I wanted her to be able to share them with my reservation, I'm Native American, so not a lot of movies could be passed around. So even at an early age, I passed it on. I shared the wealth because I was going to expand and go now into the DVD world. But that's going to be for the second part. So with that said, coming back into my VHS collection, how it's been built today, I had to rebuild. I had to go to estate sales. I had to go to thrift stores a while back because they don't really sell them as much now, but they're still coming back. Swap meets, of course. Swaps and trades. My other record stores. Online. My VHS, that's why the one came into play, of Friday the 13th, part 1 through 7, maybe 8, actually 8, is actually Wet Movie 1's former VHS collection. He'll know that he sold those a while back. If you guys go back and research some of his videos, you see who sell them. Those are at my house now. They were kept well, good. Wanted to go to a new home, a good home. Worked out a deal with him on the side. Boom, bam, they're here. My Nightmare on Elm Streets, my Halloweens, my Evil Deads, my, Return of the Living Deads, my Monkey Shine, my Return of the Living Dead Part 3, stuff like this. All from accumulating and building back up the collection because I just still love VHS. I don't need it. I barely even watch these tapes. Every now and then, see that? That's what that's for. I know I can hook it up to my flat screen. I can hook it up, to all the new LCD, all that shit with the stuff. This was meant to be watched on that. It was meant to be popped into VCR and watched on the old school TV. The format is still pops the way when I was a kid, the way I remember it. It just brings me back to like I was 8, 9, 10, watching a movie at home. And the good old CRT here, and I have another one over there. I have you see this right here, VCR? This is a built-in VCR DVD. There's 2 down there. There's 2 over there. There's 1 right there. There's 1 underneath here. I have at least 8 or 9 VCRs. Just in case. Just in case. And with VHS, with the reaccumulation, I say I'm upwards of about 8 to 1,000. 800 to 1,000. Maybe we'll go actually 800. We'll just say the 800. Because I got a lot of them, it feels like. And I keep getting more. As you just saw the other day, I brought home another, however many that was. Blind buying the totes. I'm not saying I don't have duplicates, but I still have the passion to buy VHS. I still like blind buying a tote of VHS just to see what's in there. The art is different. The cover arts, the special features, there isn't really any. I mean, if you get a high-end tape, but you might get a little bit, but it's not for the special features. It's more from a nostalgia, just knowing that this is what I watched and owned as a kid, and that I could have it again. Luckily, I have a great job. I could afford, I don't have no sponsorships. I don't get no handouts. I don't get nobody sending me free promos. Everything I have is my dollar. All's my money, the way I want to spend it. Whether it's been 50 cents or $50, that's how I'm able to accumulate. But the VHS is going to live and stay at my house forever. I know people trade it in, get rid of it. Even their DVDs, they trade in, get rid of. Even their Blu-rays, they trade in and get rid of. But I'm never getting rid of this stuff. I mean, cool, just stuff like this. Just to own it and look at it and just feel it. It's got weight. It's fun. It does take up space, but I mean, look, this basement right here, the movies on here that came with this particular set, I'm not going to go into, but this was one of my favorite like custom big box that's done. This isn't like a normal big box from the day. This is like a special release, but There's companies that will still do something like this with a VHS in it. There's people right now that are burning, or putting brand new movies onto VHS just because of the way it looks and the cover art they can do with it and how beautiful it is. So, again, this is why this is a 3-parter, because we're already 15. I'll wrap this bad boy up here. Tapes. VHS. My collection was built. It was the foundation was built with those tapes. They'll never go away. I'm going to love them forever. VHS will live on in the Hunter household. I will eventually show you guys more of what I have on the VHS side. Like being able to build the collection after giving away the first one has been really nice, because now when I do get the blind hauls, it's for all the common, cool, just generic stuff. I got all the Jurassic Parks. I got the Star Warses and the Back to the Futures and the Indiana Jones like 10 times over, it feels like. I even have the red label Star Wars, the very first editions that came out. Found that in a estate sale they were selling them, like the whole lot, I think, or I can't remember cost, but cost doesn't matter. It was just that I found them on a random hunt one day. Somebody didn't care about them, want them. I was like, yes. And then finding out later that you get your money back with value. So it is nice, though, to know that, let's say you buy something for $1 or $3 and it turns out to be worth 30 or 50 or whatever. It's nice to know you have the value there, like it was worth it. That you've got maybe an investment. That's the way to look at it, more as an investment than, yes, I'm going to flip this and make $1 million, because that ain't going to happen either. I never want this to be a job where I'm like a movie flipper. I don't frown upon anyone that flips. You got to make dollars. Please do it. I help hunters. I help flippers when I can. I don't mind, because that's their thing. Me, I'm a collector. So the only thing that kind of bugs me is when I go on a hunt or I go find something and some guy at the swap meet thinks I'm a flipper. And he's like, oh, you can scan it on eBay and you could see how much money you'll make. And I'm like, I'm not trying to make money. I'm trying to get it in my collection. They're like, I'm like, do you see my phone's out camera? It's not on eBay app. It's not on. So that's the only thing that's kind of bit me as a hunter. Some people don't think that I'm collecting. They think I'm flipping. But that's another topic. I don't want to say you crazy. So stay tuned till, I don't know, very soon. I might even just start going into it, because I got some stuff out and I just feeling it right now. I like to talk about my movies, and I always been showing you guys all the stuff that just comes in lately, but there's so much more that I have that's just sitting there. And come to think of it, I'll get this up by tomorrow. I'll be doing a tournament. I can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm doing a Slipcover Tournament on Bob's Blu-rays channel. Not big on, a lot of stuff I get doesn't have a lot of slips, but the stuff that I've purchased, not at a swap meet, at an estate sale, I might have something. Maybe. Just a couple things. We'll see. We'll see how I pan out, or how it pans out. I'm thinking last place, but I would like third. I'll take fourth, fifth. I don't care. I don't really care. I just make good luck to everybody. If you're watching and you're in it with me tomorrow, good luck. Because I'm just going to hope that I have something you don't have. So with that said, I'll try to add the link. I'll try to go back and add it to Bob's channel. It's sometime like 9 Eastern time, 6:15-ish, 6 o'clock Pacific. So stay tuned. Look around for that. Other than that, later.